In the early 20th century, post-World War South Africa was a difficult place to do business, especially for an upstart Afrikaner publishing firm. Founded in 1915, with humble origins and modest capital, Naspers began as a small outfit called De Nasionale Pers, struggling to find its footing in a landscape dominated by larger English rivals. No one could have foreseen the incredible success that lay ahead. Against all odds, this unlikely company would go on to survive wars, sanctions, and global economic shifts through perseverance and innovation.
So we're definitely a growth company, right? So growth has always been in our DNA, and we've looked historically for growth in growth markets.
Driven by a series of far-sighted investments and acquisitions over decades, Naspers climbed from its small-town roots to become a technology giant with a market value exceeding $150 billion. This is the remarkable rags-to-riches tale of an underdog company that beat the odds to achieve the unthinkable, rising from obscurity to become the richest corporation on the African continent. In a surprising revelation that defies conventional wisdom, Africa's most valuable company is not a resource-driven conglomerate or a financial institution, but rather a tech and multimedia firm called Naspers Limited. Contrary to popular belief, the African business landscape is witnessing a seismic shift, with Naspers at the forefront of this transformation.
Yeah, we still have significant firepower, and there's a part of it that is onshore in South Africa, and some of it is offshore in our RCF. I think it's the order of magnitude of $1 billion at this point in time. So that gives us an opportunity to do things, and even if we want to do more or bigger things, we always have an opportunity to do so.
But exactly how did Naspers become Africa's most valuable company? To get our answer, let's go back to 109 years back in time. It had been 8 long years since the devastating Second Boer War left the Afrikaner people impoverished and struggling under British rule. In 1914, a group of prominent Cape Afrikaners met in the town of Stellenbosch to discuss how they could support Afrikaner nationalism and promote their language and culture. One of the lawyers at the meeting was W.A. Hofmeyr, a well-known activist for the National Party. He proposed founding a publishing company that would give the Afrikaners a voice. With the support of wealthy farmers like Jannie Marais and influential politicians such as Jan Smuts and J.B.M. Hertzog, Hofmeyr's idea began to take shape. In 1915, De Nasionale Pers Beperkt was officially established. Soon to be known simply as Naspers, the new company launched its first newspaper, De Burger, in June. It was printed entirely in Afrikaans to serve the Republican audience. The following year, Naspers published its first magazine, De Huwenoot. Under Hofmeyr's leadership, Naspers rapidly expanded. In 1917, it acquired the weekly newspaper Het Volksblad in Bloemfontein, branching out from the Cape for the first time. More Afrikaans publications followed across the provinces. Naspers even dipped its toes into the English market with a few titles. By the 1920s, Naspers had over 40 newspapers and magazines. Circulation grew rapidly as more Afrikaners embraced the proudly pro-National Party message. In 1937, 2 new titles debuted, Die Oosterlijk in the Eastern Cape and Die Transvaaler to rally support in the Transvaal region. By now, Naspers had also moved into book publishing. Afrikaans language titles poured off the presses, educating a new generation of readers. In 1950, these operations were spun off into the separate Nasionale Boekhandel Company to allow unfettered growth. Throughout the following decades, Naspers combined print and publishing acquisitions, proliferated their influence nationwide, and solidified their position as the definitive voice of Afrikaner identity. It was a time of great change in the 1980s. Naspers, once solely a publishing firm, sensed the winds of opportunity blowing across new frontiers. Led by visionary leaders, the company embarked on an ambitious plan to diversify beyond the printed word and expand its reach further than ever before. In a bold move, Naspers launched its own television service, bringing news and entertainment directly into people's homes via subscription. But they had even greater ambitions. Top executives approved risky early investments in foreign markets outside their home of South Africa, seeing the potential for globe-spanning growth if they staked a claim in lands beyond their own. This move truly marked the beginning of Naspers' transformation as it set out on the journey to become a global consumer internet force. Then, in 2001, one investment took them by surprise, a small Chinese technology firm called Tencent. Almost on a whim, Naspers backed the upstart company. Little did they know how pivotal this decision would prove. Through the pluck and perseverance of Tencent's leaders, paired with Naspers' ongoing support, their fortunes would radically change in the following years, setting Naspers on a path to international success beyond anyone's imagination. Their inspired plan for diversification and expansion has definitely paid off in ways no one could have predicted.